guy spent $107 transforming this dingy basement into a rustic cabin, and the results are awesome. From a tired, gloomy basement to a timber-clad man cave that wouldn't look out of place in the Rockies. You won't believe what this imgur user has created for himself, and what's more, he managed to do it on a budget of just $107. Epic. Most of the timber imgur user oldblue started off with was completely free, with it having been salvaged from shipping crates. After breaking the crates apart, he was left with dozens of strips of rough-cut pine, and they were the ideal building blocks for his cabin-themed cave. But this DIY genius was keen on getting the look just right, so before he used the timber planks, he decided to give them a bit of a makeover. Using a draw knife, oldblue stripped the board's edges to create a more handmade appearance. With the timber prepped, it was time to get on with the build, starting with the cave's walls. And with just a few strips of pine fixed to the perimeter, oldblue's dingy basement already began to look lighter and more inviting. The basement's air vents and supports were hidden behind the cladding, while oldblue later put up a real-looking roof. Concealed behind the cladding, meanwhile, is a secret storeroom. The way it's hidden is genius, but more on that later. What log cabin would be complete without a fireplace? Okay, so this one isn't exactly a working hearth, but the effect is amazing. And in true oldblue style, the stones for the fake fireplace were found on the roadside a year earlier. Who says hoarding's a bad thing? Taking centre stage at the heart of this impressive man cave is a solid timber beam, the one building material oldblue had to splash the cash on. And after purchasing it, he gave it an antique look by deliberately distressing it. Indeed, oldblue stuck to the reclaimed theme by using salvaged timber to build his table. In its base, he created a secret place where some of his belongings could be stashed, something he wittingly refers to as his table of contents. The crates, as it turned out, had no end of uses. Indeed, as well as cladding the walls, the timber strips made perfect floorboards. Each was cut to a width of 3 inches with tongue and groove joints, ensuring that the pieces fitted snugly together. Oldblue then cut what would soon be his floor to the right proportions, and the result, most will agree, is satisfyingly neat. With all of the walls, flooring and roof in place, it was then time for the fun part: interior design, man cave style. It may have involved a lot of hard work, but this epic man cave hunting lodge took just 6 weeks to finish. Almost half that time was spent salvaging materials, but it was definitely worth it, with oldblue having to spend just $107. You might be surprised, given that the lodge is in a basement, to see a beautiful valley view outside the cabin window. Well, remember the storeroom? This is how oldblue ingeniously disguised its entrance, with a backlit photo used to stimulate the incoming daylight. Oldblue may have built this structure for less than $110, but he still had to pay a little more for its contents if they were to make it look like a genuine old-timey hunting lodge. The craftsman, though, managed to make a lot of the furniture himself using salvaged wood. Indeed, the man cave architect has gone to great lengths to ensure that no small detail is missed. He's actually gone as far as putting real logs in the fireplace and adding burn marks to the surrounding floorboards. It's incredible how detailed the cabin is, with a lumberjack shirt hanging on the wall and tools and trophy skulls mounted on the walls. It would be easy to imagine you've been transported to a distant land, but isn't that the purpose of a man cave? Although the floorboards in the cave had been glued together solidly, oldblue decided not to secure them to the concrete below, and for good reason. The floor creaks and gives slightly like an old cabin floor really would, he explained on imgur. Furthermore, what's great about oldblue's build is the way he's been able to emulate the look of a genuine hunting lodge while using reclaimed materials that suit the project's practicalities. Take the door. He used lightweight plywood to keep the weight down, but the authentic look has still been achieved. Sat on top of his neat little kitchen table, meanwhile, is a set of cooking pots. They've also had the oldblue treatment. Burn marks make the utensils look as though they've been hung over an open fire. And inside the table of contents are some slightly out-of-place collectibles. These action figures and imitation weapons don't really fit in with the ambience. Mr. T in a traditional hunting lodge? Probably not. Oldblue has done such a great job of realising his ideal man cave, but for mere mortals it may seem impossible to replicate. With a little ingenuity, however, and the most modest of budgets, you too could create the man cave of your dreams. Please share this video with your friends below.